Good morning, this is your old mad dog here, Gary Taylor. Still on our Caribbean adventure. This is day 13, I believe, yes, day 13. We're now in Castries, which is the capital of St. Lucia. I've been here a few times before, literally wearing a hat, I haven't got a t-shirt anymore. And I'm now on my own on the ship. I mean, not literally on my own, the other passengers will be here, a few. Most will have gone ashore, including Lady Di. Number one daughter, number two daughter, and their respective husbands. They've gone off on a speedboat adventure. Sounds great, doesn't it? To Sugar Bay, where they're going to be doing a bit of snorkeling and rum punching, and just generally having a good day. And I just thought I'd take the opportunity to have a chilling day today, just on my own, and an opportunity, of course, to be able to go around the ship whilst there are very few passengers on board. This is not a travel vlog. It's never pretended to be going into the minutiae of every detail of the ship and how it operates and etc. But there's a couple of things I would like to put forward. It's odd how a lot of the crew, let's call it a lot, it's not, a lot is a good way of describing it, of the crew are almost sycophantically happy and obliging and want to do the best for you, and then there's some very miserable staff, no smiles, no yeses and pleases, or just blank faces basically, and I find it odd, to be out in the Caribbean, and I know they're working, and I don't know what the wage structure's like on board a ship. It's probably not fantastic, but it's kind of what they get paid for. But then again, you can look at the passengers also. You've got a whole spectrum of wonderful, lovely, happy people in a lift, and then 10 minutes later you can be in the same lift and lots of miserable faces. Now tomorrow there'll be lots of miserable faces, because a lot of the passengers who have travelled from Southampton will have done their 2-week cruise and will be disembarking and travelling back to Blighty. Not so for us. We've got another week on board, so we'll be smug and happy, as will be the happy faces of the people arriving, and so that cycle goes around, of course, on cruising. So this is our cabin for another week, but in a week's time we'll have miserable faces and the new people will be arriving to take over our cabin, and they'll have happy smiley faces. Hopefully they will anyway. So I'll give you a quick look across what I can see, which is basically the town of Castries and the surrounding hills. A very green island is St. Lucia. It's 31 degrees, it's quite cloudy, but it's very, you can feel the heat as I'm sitting here. The sunshine's breaking through. There was some forecast for rain, but as it rained yesterday in the rainforest very appropriately, and other places on St. Kitts, it was very warm rain. It didn't really bother you much. You got wet and that was fine. You needed to cool down, that was a good thing. So it's a different kind of rain that they get over here. So much as you don't run for your raincoat or shelter, you kind of just let it just embrace that rain. So I'm going to show you now. I've got the old GoPro on a little tripod-y thing, so I'm just going to turn it round, and then you can see what I can see. Down there's a lifeboat. I think it's just been tested. It doesn't have any other purpose, it's just sailing about. And there's another one down here. Now they've come off that ship. I'm not sure how you get in this. That ship, the Rhapsody of the Seas, which is, I understand, a Royal Caribbean ship. I've seen it before in other ports. It's quite a large ship, by no means the biggest of the fleet, of course, but it's for the age of it, it's a good sized ship. It's interesting that these lifeboats are, as I say, I think they're being tested, sailing about in the port here, because a couple of guys were discussing lifeboats as they queued to get on board the Arvia here a couple of days ago. We were in a big queue, and there was a hold-ups and people were chatting. They were saying how each of those lifeboats, and the one on Arvia was probably bigger than in fact they are much bigger than those, probably cost £100,000 or more, they were guessing, of course, but that was the sort of figure they put on it. And they put forward the idea that they'd never be used because, you know, the ship's never going to need to have passengers on lifeboats, otherwise something drastic has gone wrong. Well, that's not the case. If you get a ship of this sort of size outside a port that isn't a deep water port, in other words, it can't take a ship of this size. I mean, this is huge. Oh, so there's somebody about. One solitary person. Look at all those sunbeds. People were killing for sunbeds, you know, a few days ago, when we're out in the Atlantic, and nobody could get ashore. Now everybody's gone ashore, and the sunbeds are available. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, they use the lifeboats as tenders, as a means of getting numbers of passengers off the large ship and then into the port, because they can't take the big ship into the port itself. And so they do get used, and I don't know how frequently, but I've been on these lifeboat tender excursions. You know, it normally takes about 20 minutes or something to get in and brought into the port. So they were absolutely wrong, those gentlemen, that they would never be used. They're used regularly, and obviously here's the proof that they're tested as well. I didn't correct them. There wasn't any point. I knew I was right. Yeah, so that's it. It's quite a busy. I don't know how much you can see there. Oh, a guy there in his boat going off doing something. Passengerless, so possibly just a pleasure craft. Yeah. So again, because these GoPros, they don't zoom in too well. I don't know how much of that you can see. It's probably like little specks. But it's a busy town, and it extends all the way up the hills there, the greenish hills. Tree-lined avenues, I guess they must be, and all the little colourful houses in between. Right, so I'm not going to do a running commentary on every area of the ship. As I said, I'm not a travel blogger. I just do stuff that is about what I'm up to. So I will wander around the ship, and I'll take some clips, and we'll try and put them together into some sort of order, so you get a sort of an idea what the ship's about without me boring the pants off you with every detail. So I may not speak too much on these. You might just get a sort of a silent clip, and I might just add a few words just where I think it's appropriate. Okay, well that's enough for now, and I'm going to set off around the ship. I think I'll use the head attachment, so I can just wander around with the GoPro on my bonds. Okay, bye. So this is the lift lobby, as you can see. I said I wasn't going to try and give you the minutiae, never mind the bloody obvious. There we go. And we'll go up to the 18th, start at the top, work our way down a little bit. I've not actually been outside apart from on the balcony, so I'm not quite sure.
Panorama deck. Oh. 18. Have you been out or are you going
out? There's a few people enjoying the uncrowded spaces. Probably the best place to be on the ship if you can get up here, and bag a bed. If that's your thing. It's not particularly mine, but good views. Again, on this GoPro you probably can't see much. Much of the town See, I've never actually been up here. That's part of the ship. Yeah, there's more people than I thought. As I say, they're taking advantage, like me, of the less crowded decks. It's about as far forward as you can get. No, this is the retreat. Now, we haven't been in here because you have to pay extra and you have to book it in advance. So even if you want to pay the extra for slightly upgraded beds and I think a bit more of a tranquil experience, I think it's over 18s. I think it's a child-free zone. The cabana's there, but yeah, overall, it's not going to have any facilities that you can't actually obtain everywhere else over the ship. As I say, maybe the beds are a little bit thicker quality, the mattressing, cushions, whatever. My thighs are a little bit achy after yesterday's exertions, so I'm just gingerly coming downstairs. But then I expected that. It's always the same the day after a climb. This is the, well, I always call it the Sky Dome, which is a classy piece of kit. It's a retractable roof, so that in inclement weather you can still have a nice experience out of the rain. But usually it's times like this the roof's retracted, but I don't know why it's... Oh, Sky Bar. Oh, you feel the difference with the aircon. Boy, that feels cold. So it's on 2 levels. You've got a big multi-screen there stage. The pools on board the ship are quite small. I noticed. A great idea. but this is the area where we've been. I say we haven't done much of it, but the family have been sunbathing here in this corner, round about this area. It's my favourite, and we're usually able to get sunbeds just around here. Big black cloud. Maybe they know something. Maybe that's why the roof's retracted. Is it retracted when it's closed? It's closed anyway. Yeah. And this is a jogging track, which I've had a few goes on. Hard work in high humidity and 31 degrees. I found that 3 miles was more than enough, particularly when it's busy with people naturally wanting to get from one place to another, need to cross over the track. But this is it. It's a 1/7 of a mile around the superstructure, upper superstructure of the ship. So 7 laps of this is a mile. So 21 laps, you've got your 3 miles. As I say, I felt more than enough. I have spent some time in the gym, which I've enjoyed, and I'll probably spend a bit more time in the next week. This is a kids' water park. All the toddlers in there, all having fun. And up there, we'll go up and have a look at that. For the first ship I've ever been on with a mini golf course. Very posh, and it's a lot of fun, of course. Mini golf is a lot of fun. But up there is the altitude walkway. Oh, I'm on the course, but mind you, there's nobody coming by. Up there, people clip on. They get harnessed up in that area there when it's open, and then they make their way up here, clipped on for safety naturally, and make their way across these various obstacles at various speeds. The few kids I've seen do it, they seem to have whether the balance, the technique, they seem to be the nippiest, and around they come and round, and then they can go off into the centre here, come down again, come round, and eventually the aim is to, well, you can see it from this angle, but just above there there's like a plank, a metal beam comes sticking out, and the idea is to tippy toe across that and ring the bell, and at that point you've achieved all you ever wanted to achieve in altitude walking, and you turn around and you come back down again and down and to safety. Quite a few people have done it. I might have a go myself, but I never find it open, not the times I'm around. So I think we've got a sea day next week. I'll be our last all at sea day. Well, I'm all at sea a lot of the time, but you know what I mean, the ship, all of us will be all at sea. No shore day, I'm saying. I might have a go any day because it will be open, because there's more people on board looking for things to do. And then there's an infinity pool and smoker's corner there, right just next to the running track. Lovely idea. Further infinity pools, plunge pools. There's quite a lot of people back here. I'm also thinking it's 12 o'clock now, so if you're on your toes, you've got to go off the boat at 7. gone into Castries, maybe done a bit of shopping. You wouldn't have time to do a full excursion, but you could be back on the ship now, having topped up with booze or chocolate or soft drinks or anything you can get cheaper off the ship. I'm hoping Richard's actually GoProing a lot of what they're up to, the rest of my family, because that would be nice to be able to show that, because I obviously wasn't with them, so I oh, there's a little airport there. I've never noticed that before. Looks like a little light aircraft, a little runway. Yeah, I think people can feel a few spits and spats of rain. The black clouds are right above us now. People are staring into the sky. But it's like the last couple of days, it comes down heavy, and as I said, it's not particularly unpleasant. Okay, so we're outside the Horizon restaurant. This is the all-day buffet, where people eat buffet all day. It's very popular for breakfast, because you can just rush up here, get a few plates of food and coffee, especially if you're leaving the ship early. You don't want to sit down waited upon breakfast, because it takes too long. You want to be fed and gone. And then of course at this time of the day it's now flipped for lunch. Luncheon. So what else have we got on 16?
Place mango passion fruit.
Sure.
We're back in the Sky Bar, Sky Dome, whatever. At the lower level now. So we're going down to deck 8 now.
Promenade deck 8.
Well, we're here, as you've heard. So I just want to show. This is the clubhouse, which is basically, as the name suggests, it's a nightclub, which they have the resident band Pulse. Every P&O ship seems to have a resident band. In fact, most of the fleet, the copies, has the same theme. So whatever ship you go on, you're going to see a Pulse. You're going to go in the Headliners Theatre. Horizon, we've just been the Buffy Bar. is the same name, and as is the de la carte restaurant Zenith and Meridian. So this is it. It's lovely and it's bouncing at night. You can't get a seat. I mean, depends what's on, but I mean, I've not been in here, and I've been in here most nights at some point where it was easy to get a seat unless you get in really early. We stood here to watch the acts, just to get this place. Just stood here. But yeah, I like the vibe in here. I like it. And of course, this is where I danced to Victory in the Halloween fancy dress dance off. I jumped on that stage and got kicked off. What an idiot. And there's people queuing up now for tonight's performance. Get in there early. Nice, cool vibe. Now down here, this is great. This is something they haven't got on the ships, P&O ships, as far as I know. This area here is all, and it's all inclusive, all part of the deal. I said I wanted to talk a lot, but I seem to find myself doing. It's the nature of me. It's called the Keys, and basically it's like a food hall. So you've got roast dinners on the go. I'm not sure what time they open, but probably about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And then it runs through to about 10 or 12 hours. Yeah, the carvery. And here you've got fusion Asian kitchen, so always 3 or 4 choices. We've got on here katsu chicken curry, prawn and coconut Thai green curry, and braised tofu, shiitake, mushroom, ginger and green beans. Very nice. Steamed rice. And would you believe it? This is a fish and chip shop. Just turn up the fish and chips. You can have it for breakfast, well, brunch, lunch, dinner. You could have fish and chips 3 times a day if you wanted. Bonkers. And they're lovely fish. They do a good job. Another nice area. This restaurant is Sindhu, and as I said, each P&O liner, cruiser, has a Sindhu on it. And we sampled Sindhu last year and we were less than impressed. I mean, I love my Indian, but I don't know, there's just something that wasn't quite right about it. And we really should try it, because it's wrong to think that our one experience should stop us from giving a second go. So I might start pushing for that in the next few nights. The menu looks cracking. Yeah, not the lobster. I don't eat lobster anymore. Nobody should eat lobster. And of course there's I say of course as if there should be, but there's ice cream parlour. And it's all complimentary of the price you pay for your cabin. And now we're coming into the main atrium, the centre of the ship. A lot of things go on here, a lot of activities here. And this is my favourite bar, the Keel and Cow. And it's favourite because I can always usually get a seat. Son-in-law Gary loves this place as well. They do a beer. I'm not having one now because I'm wandering, but they do a beer called Ghost Ship on draft. I'm gonna go straight to the pump. That's it there. Ghost Ship. It's a lovely craft ale. It's quite hoppy. I think I've tasted it before somewhere, but that's definitely my pint of choice. So there's people queuing there outside. I don't think you can't see that probably with this GoPro. A lot of people down there. Wow. Yeah, I am suspecting that people have gone off and got back on again, having seen what they wanted to see in Castries. Okay, we'll go down the stairs to deck 7, and we do that via the lower atrium stairway. We'll say it's a middle atrium stairway. I still haven't found my way around properly. I'm talking literally out of my hat. Do a magical spinning dance routine where the dance ladies they hook up to a device there in the ceiling which spins them round and up they go in the air. So it's an aerial ballet. If you remember Circus LA's sort of aerial, I think maybe were the first I ever saw do it, but it's quite impressive as they fly around the atrium. So we come down another to the middle. I definitely am taking these stairs gingerly. And blow me down another bar, but not all the bars have ghost ship, only the Keel and Cow. This is the Glass House. This is another restaurant. You know, they look like bars, but they're actually restaurants as well, as is the Keel and Cow. That's a steak bar. Glass House. We like the Glass House. We've only ate there once this holiday, but I think we'll be going back again very shortly. So that takes us now into the shopping area. Somewhere where I don't like to spend too much time. We did last night. There was some shopping going on. Number 2 daughter was buying bags and the like, all that jazz. So I was obliged to tag along for a while till I got bored and then wandered off. I wandered back again. They didn't lose me for long. In fact, they didn't even know I was gone. Let's have a look. Now, when you import, the shops have to be shut because, like anywhere in the world, you can't sell duty free when you import. But these will all open up again tonight when we set sail. I don't know how many miles we're going to be out away from the port, but they'll all open up again, and it'll be a hive of shopping activity.
Can I say how do you vlog?
Yeah, it's not a travel vlog. I do a YouTube channel just for myself and family, the stuff I do. So it's not a forensic interrogation of the whole ship. It's just a general walkabout, and you know.
That's awesome.
So at the end of this corridor is the entrance to Zenith, which is one of the a la carte restaurants. And there's... Oh, that's surprising. It's showing a lunch noon till 1:30. Well, it's definitely noon. It's 12:21, but the doors aren't open. Not that I want to eat, but I just... Anyway, it's a large dining area, waiter served, and it usually provides at dinner a 4-course menu, all of which is usually quite nice dishes. A good variety. Quality is usually pretty good. We had some fish last night that was a bit on the dry side, but you know, other than that. I'm still on deck 6, and that's the reception to Meridian there, so we just come down a different corridor. This is the Olive Grove. We've ate here a couple of times. It's part of the inclusive menu, and it's a sort of a Mexican, Caribbean, yeah, a bit of Italian. It's sort of Mediterranean meets Caribbean. This is cool. I like this place. Breakfast, brunch, dinner. It's open all day. This is the 6th Street Diner with non-stop American hits on the jukebox. Again, it's not very busy, but when it opens at 10 for breakfast, people are queuing down this corridor. Here's another of my favourite bars, Anderson's, which do some lovely rum and gin concoctions. Quite classy. Often have to be attired in the right trousers, which excludes my designer shorts, as I was sent back last night to change. Not for the first time. You think I get it by now. And this is the library. Now this is one of the downsides of the ship for me. I love a good ship's library. What is wrong with a good ship's library? But they've managed to find no space for a library, just these big books. I think they've chosen big books purposefully so you can't take them home with you. I mean, they're massive, but the subjects, none of them appeal. Well, there was one appealed to me. A few magazines. Oh, I never noticed that before. There are some fiction, some novels there, but a library it is not. They actually distill their own rum and gin on board, and that's the device, wonderful device that does it. That's the distillery, and for the princely sum of £75 they'll let you concoct your own gin or rum, put your own botanicals in there. There's a selection over here, and you can take your bottle of gin or rum back to your cabin or wherever you want to take it and drink it, or take it home. It's probably quite an experience, but I don't rate it amongst the top priorities to spend my money on. I was just going back a little bit here, so that's Anderson's bar, that's the bookcase. This is the cinema, or should I say studio, as it says. What we got playing? Yeah, so today there'll be 4 films on, 3 films because one's duplicated. There's 3 separate, as I understand it, 3 separate cinema suites, all providing different films, and that's unusual because the first, well, not the first year because that was a long time ago, but usually you get one cinema and it plays the same film 2 or 3 times a day. That's ships I've been on 10-15 years ago, but this is quite different. This is more like a multiplex. So this is the rear of Anderson's bar. It's a nice space. It's usually busy, as are all the bars and restaurants. You can imagine there's over 5,000 people on board. Even a ship this size is going to be struggling to get people sitting everywhere where they want to be when they want to be sitting. So this is the bottom level of the atrium now. But it was very disappointing to find that you have to pay for Costa coffee here. Well, he sort of knew that, but he used to get a little cake with it, with your Costa coffee, and now you have to pay for it. And I make him right, you know, it's the little things you get used to, and then when they go You miss them, little touches, you know. It feels like they're just penny pinching. So we're into the art gallery now, well, as it says, and these genuinely are for sale. And this is the Limelight Club. It's a pay-as-you-enter and dine experience in the early part of the evening with an entertainer. We participated in that shenanigans last year, and it was average, to be honest. We shouldn't book. We didn't feel the urge to book again this year for any of that. It wasn't. I think it was just the better places that we can find to eat and drink and be entertained. Yeah. So these pictures, you know, they're all available for sale at various prices. One here at £6.95. I do not know anything about art, but I do know what I love. Well, that sounds like a saying. And unfortunately, these ones are not really doing it. Oh, quite like that one though. So these are £100,000, and you can get them on 0% finance, should you choose, and they will deliver them to your home free of charge. But that one is 28,500, and that's a Banksy type artist, Mr. Brainwash. I've seen it before, so it must be a theme. I've seen Albert Einstein, "Love is the answer" placard before, so it might be the same painting that's not been purchased for a year, or he's just doing lots of the same. I like it though. Hard not to. You get more bang for your buck with this one. It's Mr. Brainwash again. 23,750 for that big fella there. Compared to 28,500 for this smaller. Maybe you get the easel with it. That's maybe the difference in price. My nephew Luke did a Londonscape photograph montage that didn't look that much dissimilar to that, to be honest. We've still got it at home. A little bit irrelevant there. The Queen and Prince Philip. Anyway. So what we got here, something I wouldn't go in, is the spa. There is a gym on, as I mentioned before, there's a gym on the ship, and it's a pretty good gym. I do like it. So this is downstairs at Headliners, this is the theatre, and because it's locked we can't go in and see that. But it's a theatre. I don't know how many it holds. A few hundred? 300? Somebody will know.
This place is a maze.
Isn't it? A maze and amazing.
Yes.
That's what I find.
A maze.
How long have you been on board?
I want to go to 8.
Oh, that'll take you to 8.
I think it's up here.
Yeah, 8.
It's not down there.
No, it's definitely up here because this is 6.
I think I'll find it.
You'll find it.
Yeah.
I'm clever, them lifts will take you straight up to the floor you want. So we probably missed a few bits out, but I think we've more or less covered it. This is the upstairs, the deck 7 entry to Headliners. Round the corner you've got Brody's, the sports bar, which gets packed absolutely heaving with passengers when there's football on. So well, it's Thursday today. Come Saturday you won't be moving here, can't get a seat. and they get in about 2 hours before the kick-off, which is very rude of them if I only want to come in just as my team's kicking off. I point out the pool table simply because it's hilarious when we're at sea. You can imagine the ship's listing a little bit. There's no device on earth that's going to keep that straight. All the balls go one way, and then the other way, and then the other way, as the players chase round the table trying to capture them. Hit the white onto any colour. So, oh yeah, they do ghost ship here. So that's another reason it's one of my favourite bars. It's the casino, never touch it. Had a little footer last year with my friend Sonia. We didn't know the hell we were doing. I can't remember, I think she won a bit and then lost a bit, but it's not my deal. Well, I think that just about does it. I can't show an awful lot more. There's a reception, of course. There are various desks, customer services, etc. But it gives you an idea. It's a lovely ship. There's no doubt about it. And experience-wise, even when I chuck in a couple of negatives, it's still a good 8.5 out of 10. I bet the designer was hoping for 10. Must do better, young man. Get a library in it. What am I like? With my libraries. This looks like it could be a nice little library, actually. It would be a small one, but it'd be better than a bookcase. But no, it's a wine. It's a wine tasting. Sometimes open. Who knows when? Oh yeah, it's part of this glass house set up, so it must be out. Oh, it's open now. Oh, I see. You could probably eat in here, can you? No. How would you know? Unless you've been on the ship before, then perhaps you do know. Right. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. These are the ramblings of the old mad dog. You know that. What can you expect then? So I'm gonna say bye to all this jazz, and we'll film a little bit later. Maybe tomorrow we'll do something.